Thank you for joining us today. My name is Andrew, and I work in the engagement, marketing, and outreach team here in the HR department at the CTA. We're going to be talking today about some of great opportunities we have with our training and workforce development team. The agenda, we're going to start off by going over some fun facts about the CTA to get you a little more acclimated. And then we'll be hearing from some individuals in our TWD, Training and Workforce Development Department, and they'll be going over some details about those roles with us. And then at the end, we'll go over how you can apply for these roles, and we will have a short Q&A session. If you do have any questions, feel free to insert those into the chat or type those in, and we'll be able to get to as many of those as we can at the end of the presentation. And just a reminder as well, we are doing live closed captioning. So if you would like that to be displayed on your screen or need for those to be displayed on your screen, click that at the bottom there and it should appear for you. So I'm going to start us off by introducing some of our team members that you're going to be hearing from today. First, our recruitment team. Diamond, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Diamond Scales, and I am one of the managers in our recruitment department. Thank you.
Thanks, Diamond. And Dara.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dara Pierre, and I am one of the recruiters here in the talent acquisition department.
Thank you. And joining us from TWD, we have Geisha Esther.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Geisha Esther, and I serve as the Vice President for Training and Workforce Development at CTA.
Thank you, Geisha. And we have Dr. Bria Hoosier.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Bria Hoosier, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Workforce Partnerships within the Training and Workforce Development Department. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bria. All right, so Dara, if you want to go ahead and kick us off, we'll dive into some information about the CTA.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you guys for joining us today for our informational session. I'm going to start off talking a little bit about our mission. So the CTA mission is to deliver quality, affordable transit services that link people, jobs, and communities. For me, this is something that really sticks out to me because back in 2002, I was actually a bus operator and I drove one of the buses. And so I was instrumental in ensuring that individuals got to where they needed to go in a timely, safe, timely manner. Then I transitioned a little bit later on in life to the human resource department, where I took some of the knowledge that I've gained over the years, as well as my experience in operations and driving buses to help staff for those positions and these positions that help us continue to push our mission. And so I am very happy to say that it is a pleasure working with all of these individuals just to make sure that our city is moving safely and ensuring that we have great transit service for all of you. And so now I'll go into the next slide where we'll talk a little bit about CTA and who our leader is and what we represent here. So we are led by the first African-American individual, Dorval Carter. He is our president. And some of the things that we really strive for here at CTA is diversity. And, you know, we are very diverse. We have representations from all walks of the city and surrounding suburbs. You know, we have a team that, you know, constantly has initiatives going to help educate us and cultivate a more equitable and inclusive engagement here at the workplace. We have so many different projects going on, but one that I really like to talk about is the extension to our red line. And I don't know how many of you all are familiar with this extension project, but it will allow rail service to go a little bit further south than it normally has with CTA. And so we're very, very much so excited about that process. And then the CTA, we're definitely dedicated to ensuring we are a place that make people feel like they're welcome, not only in the workplace, but also to our customers. You know, our Equal Opportunity Employment unit hosts so many company-wide fairs and different things just to talk about ongoing inclusives and discussions in the workplace for employees at all levels. So not just with our bus operators and our union levels, but also at our executive levels. We definitely pride ourselves in to continue to stay engaging to all individuals, all walks of life. And so we'll go into a little overview of CTA. Some of you all know that CTA, of course, we have our union positions, which are our bus operators, our rail. But one of the things we liked to bring light to today was some of the positions that kind of don't shine a lot, but they are very instrumental in continuing to run the CTA. And that's going to be our non-union positions. So we are an organization that has over 10,000 employees, and that's union and non-union. And so union, of course, bus operations, rail, customer service, and our non-union would be something like me, a human resource representative, Ms. Scales, who's in management, of course, Dr. Hoosier and Ms. Esther. These positions are what we call our non-union positions. We service the Chicago area, of course, and about 35 surrounding suburbs. We have about 130 bus routes and 8 rail lines. We have, of course, our headquarters office where you will have most of our non-union employees housed. Then we also have 7 bus garages. You know, we have them as far north as Forest Glen and as far south as 103rd Street with 9 rail terminals, and it just goes on and on. And so that's just a little bit about CTA and some of the background. And so we'll get to the good part is where we're going to talk a little bit about that department who's here to tell you what they have going on and how they support the overall functioning of the CTA. And that is, I'll bring it back to you, Andrew.
Thanks so much, Tara. All right, so next we are going to hear from the Training and Workforce Development team. Starting us off will be Keisha Esther. Keisha, go ahead and kick us off.
Thank you, Andrew. I think we're going to have Dr. Bria start for us, if that's okay.
All right, I am ready. Hello, everyone. I'm going to just provide an overview of inarguably the best department at the Chicago Transit Authority, the Training and Workforce Development Department. So again, I'm Dr. Bria, and my function is to oversee workforce partnerships, and we are the pre-employment program. So underneath us, we have our Second Chance programs, which provides 315 jobs to those with barriers to employment. That can be returning citizens, survivors of domestic violence, and homelessness. Additionally, we have our internships and educational programs. We have 2 programs. We have a high school program, and in a couple of weeks, we'll be inviting 215 high school students for a 7-week experience. And we also have a very robust program for our college interns, and we'll be hosting about 70 this year. Next, we have our training and instruction, and they provide all the training for our operations careers. So we have bus instruction, there's rail instruction, and then there's safety. And last but not least, the focus for today's webinar, learning and support. Under learning and support, they have 3 units. They have an e-learning team, the career and leadership development team, and the curriculum development training, and technical writing team. And now I'm going to turn it over to my leadership, who will give us a little bit more details about the positions that are available now.
Thank you, Dr. Bria, for that. Again, my name is Keisha Esther, and I have the pleasure of serving as the leader for our TWD team. We have 4 positions that are currently available in our learning and support team. We have the manager of curriculum development and technical writing. We have our coordinator of technical writing and quality control, and then we have 2 coordinators of curriculum development positions available. One is more operational, and then one is focused on e-learning. I'm going to take a little time to go through each position to give you a little bit more background. So if we want to transition. Perfect. So our manager of curriculum development and technical writing. Key responsibilities for this role is that this would be the leader for the team that develops our curriculum and technical writing. They would manage processes, procedures, activities related to our operations curriculum, which is our bus and rail operations teams. Also manage that technical writing team, which is responsible for our standard operating procedures and our bulletins, part of the way that we communicate formally with our operations employees. What are some skills for success for someone in this role? Is someone who has strong leadership, project management, and writing skills. They have a proven ability to navigate technical SME partnerships and meet the learning needs and manage quality control standards for our training initiatives. So what are some things you should know about this role? That is very technical content. So there are people who really have a desire and a passion and a niche for technical writing and technical curriculum. And so this position is highly technical in content, that there are some regulatory requirements, as you can imagine, in transit for bus and rail operations that we need to consider as we develop content, that projects are large scale. So very far beyond a 1-day program or even a 5-day program. These are very large scale programs that are really focused on safety. And then having the partnerships working with a subject matter expert, what we call a SME. Very fast paced environment. We move people, we are transit. So this role is very fast paced. And then you would actually manage a team in this role. And we like to say that leadership is an action and not just a position. So just some quick facts about our manager, curriculum development, and technical writing role. So our next position is our technical writing and quality control. You can see the salary there between 70 and 80. Some of the key responsibilities, this person would spend most of their work time developing, revising, and maintaining our operations, SOP, standard operating procedures, and our bulletins. They coordinate the bulletin and SOP distribution and approval process. And this person also chairs our SOP committee. So bringing all of the subject matter experts together to be able to develop and distribute our bulletins and SOPs. So skills for success for this role, someone who likes technical writing and is able to navigate SME partnerships, really self-directed with an ability to adhere to deadlines and incorporate industry standards into the development of the content. Again, a very technical role with regulatory requirements. This person would be very detail-oriented, enjoys working with other SMEs, people with technical expertise, also a very fast-paced role. And then, as I said earlier, this person would be responsible for chairing our SOP committee. We're constantly working towards the highest level of compliance possible in these types of roles here at the authority. So our next two positions are around curriculum development coordinators. This particular one for quality control, the QC, is responsible for designing instruction and operational roles, specifically bus and rail operations, but also some very trades positions like our track workers. So what are some skills for success for this role? Obviously, someone who has strong instructional design skills and background, someone who has a focus on safety and is a strong writer, also has the ability to work with the SMEs in partnership very successfully. This is some independent work at times, so someone who's independent would be a great fit for this role. And then someone who's conscious of deadlines and industry standards as they develop content. So similar as the other ones, large scale projects, the regulatory requirements, very technical content, fast paced. And this particular role develops mostly content for in-person trainings. So I will wrap up by talking about our similar role, but really focus on e-learning and developing content to support our newly implementing learning management system. So very similar keys for responsibilities, designing and develop content, but focus really in web-based training and web-based content. This particular position is not just focused on operations, our bus and rail operations and some of our trades, but definitely the diversity of our audience, whether it's exempt or bargained for or not, maybe some compliance training, very diverse audience for this particular role. And then some of the very similar strong skill sets for success, curriculum developer with that instructional design, has the safety focus, able to navigate SMEs, work independently, but also be able to be conscious of deadlines and standards. Same type of things you should know about the role, whether it's technical or regulatory, but what is most different is that this person is developing content for web-based training. So I am going to turn it back over to you, Andrew. That is a high-level overview of our department. Thank you, Dr. Bria, for doing that for us, but also a little bit more detailed about our positions that we have available, and we're excited to have candidates for.
Definitely exciting. Thank you so much for that information. That was great. So next, Dara is going to go over the CTA hiring process and some helpful information as you guide through possibly applying to these roles.
All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about the hiring process. You heard about all of the opportunities in our training and workforce department. Now, how do you apply for them? Well, of course, as you can see, that is our web address. You would go to our website and you get to look and see all of the open opportunities that we have here at the CTA. Once you've gone to the website, you would submit, make a profile, make sure that you complete it thoroughly. Once you're creating a profile, ensure that you upload a current resume as a recruiter. And when we start sourcing those individuals who don't upload their resume, it is in our practice that we reject those submissions because it is not a complete submission. So ensure that you upload your resume. Always make sure that you are staying up to date with your resume. Make sure you have the most recent information on your resumes. And then also set some alerts. We have it where you can set alerts anytime an opportunity post that is aligned with your skills. You will get an alert, you'll get an email. So I do recommend to set those alerts. And so once you have applied and you've done everything you needed to do with that process, you want to also think whether you're qualified or not for the job. You want to actually, be honest with yourself. Hey, do I have the years of experience, a degree of certification if it's required, whether my resume speaks to what the job description is asking. Did I do everything I needed to do? Did I make sure that my submission was complete? Did I upload that resume like Dara said? Just think of all of those different things before you hit that submit button. The next thing I kind of want to talk about is, okay, you've applied and guess what? We would like to have an interview with you, or we'd like to send you for assessments. So we're going to the next step. All positions require at least one interview. That could be a video interview, with the majority of our positions are, but with the training and workforce development, there are some unique positions that Ms. Keisha talked about that require an on-site interview, as well as what we call a teach or presentation. So this is the opportunity to showcase your skills. You will get instructions on a little simulation, and you will be presenting in front of a panel of CTA employees. And it's always exciting and fun to see a working interview, as I say. We like to focus on your work history, your educational skill, and your skills, and of course, previous experience when we are sourcing and looking for applicants. But if you get the opportunity to sit down and interview with us, definitely your presentation, and we'll go to the next slide and we'll talk a little bit about some of those tips. Definitely ensuring that you read that job description. Here at the CTA, we model the STAR method when we do interviews. And so a lot of the times our questions are surrounded around situational questions that we want you to give us a live event that's something that you participated in to answer. But we also like it to be relevant to the position that you're applying for. Since a lot of our interviews are via Zoom, I want to give a few tips in regards to that. Some of the things I like to tell candidates is ensure that you are in a quiet place with minimal distraction. Ensure that you're dressed properly. Of course, you're not in person, but you still want to come off professional and represent yourself well. Ensure that your speakers are working, your hardware is working. Check your Zoom minutes before you log on so that you can make sure that you're running well. And then at the end of the session, if you have any questions, definitely write those down so you can make sure that you ask the hiring manager as well as the recruiter. And so some other things I want to talk about is, if you can go ahead to the next slide, Andrew. Once you have completed the interview process and maybe you've gotten that offer and now you're going to join the CTA family, there still is a little lengthy process afterwards. We would love to interview and offer someone on the spot and get them going within the next week or so. But here we have a pre-employment process, and that requires some background fingerprinting and with the reports that come from the FBI, the Illinois State, and then our third-party organization that does our other background check, and is Hire Right. You also do a drug screening, and every every employee that works for the CTA has to be fully vaccinated. So that's something else that we stress with our pre-employment process. There's also for our non-union employees, a statutory service area, which is a residency area. You can always go online when you apply for one of our positions and you can see you have to reside in a certain area in order to work for CTA if you are applying for a non-union position. And that would be the majority of those positions here in the TWD department. And so the timeline, I say, from pushing that button to submit until if you're the selected candidate to move to an interview process, if you were selected to join the team, which you were given an offer, a conditional offer, to onboarding, to your screenings and new employee orientation is approximately, I would say 30 to 45 days. And so a lot of people, of course, get antsy and they don't hear anything and want to know what's going on. But here at the CTA, we work very hard to ensure that we update our candidates to the process of the status of their process, because it is a more lengthier process, a hiring process than most organizations. And so that pretty much concludes what we have for tips on applying, interviewing, and the hiring process. So now let's get to the benefits. Some medical benefits, of course, for full-time and part-time employees. Day one, free transit service for CTA and PACE, retirement options and pensions. And then we have our new employee orientation that takes place day one, where you are paid for that training. We have a plethora of ongoing professional developments here at the CTA at your fingertips. Just ask and they will ensure that you are constantly learning and constantly promoting just advancement and professional development. And then career advancement opportunities. There's always opportunities. The sky is the limit here. And hiring managers and managers of each department are very supportive to individuals who are looking to definitely, move up and even if they're not in their department, move up in the company. So it's a lot of support in that area. And once again, these are just some of the great opportunities here and why you should really think about joining our team. It is an amazing team. You just see a few of the representatives here. Like I said, it's over 10,000 of us here. And we thank you so much for taking time to hear our spiel today. And I'm going to throw it on back to Andrew.
Thanks so much, Dara. We're going to go ahead and go over some of the questions that were submitted into the Q&A. So thank you for those that submitted those. We appreciate that. And we're happy to be able to answer those while we have you here during this meeting. Diamond, go ahead and take us off here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andrew. And thank you so much, Dr. Bria and Geisha and Dara for giving us that recap. All right, team. Well, if you haven't already done so, there is a Q&A at the bottom. So please feel free to ask any questions that you may have as it relates to the presentation today. All right. So I got a really good question that came in, and I am going to address this question to the department. So this can be answered by either Geisha or Dr. Bria. So the question that came in is, why do you enjoy working for the TWD department?
Dr. Bria, would you like for me to take that one, or you want to take it?
We'll take that one. That's my favorite question at the CTA. So why do I enjoy it? What I enjoy about working in TWD is that we get the honor of preparing people for career pathways. There's nothing more special in knowing that the work that we do impacts families, it impacts communities, and we take that very seriously. So we do our best to make sure our trainings really prepare them to not only be successful in their current positions, but to provide promotions as well. So it's just a beautiful day when we see people get to see us at NEO, which is your first day of work if you get to come with us, and then see you to soar throughout the organization. So that makes it special. And I have to say, CTA is so amazing that it's the one place I know where your talents, you can use them all. I can always point and say, you know what, I've created this thing and it's right here at the CTA. And we know that the CTA isn't going anywhere. So I'm a super fan.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I had another question that came in, and I will actually address this question to Dara. So the question that came in is, can you just clarify if you are required to live in the city of Chicago to work for CTA?
So it really depends on the position. Union positions, which are bus operation, rail operation, anything customer service assistant, our union roles do not require you to live in the city per se. We do have a service area where our non-union roles, which would be like myself, Dr. Hoosier, maybe someone who is a coordinator, more in exempt roles, they are required to live in what we call our statutory service area, which is pretty much the majority of the Cook County area. But like I said, there's also a list if you're just unsure that you can go on our website. It's in our residency requirements, and you can see if your neighborhood is on that list. And if it is, you are good to go. Go right now and apply.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering that question. Oh, I have a really good question that came in, and this is for the department. So what does success look like for this department in the first 30 days?
I'll take that one. So it really depends on the role, and it depends on what one is being acclimated to the organization and our culture, right? So really getting in and understanding what we do and how we do it. We have an onboarding plan for every employee that joins our team, which will vary based on your role, but really being able to execute your onboarding plan and getting started and getting acclimated to the team. 30 days is a short amount of time to have a deliverable or this huge thing executed, but we do expect someone to be able to come in and hit the ground running and really get acclimated to our organization, number one, and then our team and our department and the work that we do. So everyone has an onboarding plan that is very specific to them and their role and what's happening in our department at that time.
Thank you so much, Geisha, for answering that for us. I have another really good question that came in, and I will send it over to Dara. The question came in, I am really interested in applying for the position. When is my deadline to apply?
So most positions stay live on our website for 2 weeks. This position that you're looking to, all of our TWD positions are going to close June 24th. So keep in mind, we post our positions on Fridays. Once that position goes live on Fridays, it is supposed for 2 weeks. However, this one will be extended a little bit for you guys, and so it will be closing by June 24th. So make sure you go on the website, you read the job description thoroughly, you make sure you have an updated resume, make sure that your resume aligns into what the minimum qualifications are, and definitely apply.
Thank you so much, Dara, for that. We have time for just one more question. So the question that came in, and I will address this question to either Geisha or Dr. Bria. What are your goals for your department within the next 5 years?
Great question. That's a great question. Dr. Bria, you want to take it and just speak from your perspective, or would you like me? Whichever is fine.
I'll let you go and handle it.
Oh, very good, very good. So our goal for the next 5 years, one is that we are in the opportunity to have the great rebuild, right? So one of the immediate goals is to have this really dynamic team that are developing content for our organization, and specifically in our operations department. So, and the second thing that's really big for us is to really implement our learning management system. It is new for the Chicago Transit Authority. And so we are really excited to get it out the box and get all of our organization using it. We are utilizing it in small phased approach for our organization, but within the next 5 years, we will be fully implemented and fully utilizing it and having this diversity of the way that we implement training initiatives and the way we're able to execute. The other thing that I would say in the next 5 years is growth within the team in our department. I am really looking forward to some of our current team members who may be individual contributors or our first level of management, really taking on this department and leading it in a new and fresh direction. So if I could just recap is, one, staffing up and having a dynamic team who have the skill set and have the passion to do the work in our industry. And then two, that we unwrap fully our learning management system and really leverage that and move our organization in a different direction. And then personally for me is to really advance the people that are in our department that are working hard, individual contributors, our first step in management, to really take on our department and lead it into a new direction with their skills and their ideas for how we move forward and continue to be industry leading in this work. So those are our goals for the next 5 years.
Thank you so much, Geisha, for answering that question for us. So that, everyone, the Q&A portion of this presentation. If you have any additional questions or questions related directly to your application status, please email us at ccacareers@transitchicago.com. Thank you so much. And I'll pass it back to you, Andrew.
All right. If any of you are on LinkedIn, please follow the Chicago Transit Authority's page. That's a great way to keep in touch with us and hear about the things going on at the CTA, as well as job openings and career fairs. We post a lot on there. So feel free to reach out to us there and follow. We highly encourage that. And we just want to thank you all again for joining us today. And thank you for TWD for joining us as well and explaining some of the details on these roles. There are really some great opportunities. So hopefully we'll see some applications coming in from some of you. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at CTA careers@transitchicago.com. Thanks and enjoy the rest of your day.